P2Q Radio.
What's going on, people? I would like to welcome all of you to another Q-on-1 edition of the Talk to Q Radio Show. My name is Quincy, and this is my show. And with the Q-on-1s, what I like to do is interview people. Sometimes they can be local entrepreneurs, or they could be someone who's doing their thing worldwide. So it's an opportunity for you to get to know these people up and close and learn their story and what gave them the passion to do what they do or provide the type of service they provide. So please sit back and enjoy the show. And please be encouraged to share. A lot of people, including myself, kind of do their thing by word of mouth, So the more you spread the knowledge about the show, then the more people who can tune in and grow this thing and make it bigger. And it also gives more support for the people who I bring on the show who are looking to get their product or services out to the masses. Without further ado, let's get to the interview. What's going on, people? All right. She is an actor, a singer, a musician, a dancer. She's appeared in over 25 theater productions on the East Coast. She has a role in a movie called Concrete Cowboy, where she plays the wife of Idris Elba. So now all my lady listeners are jealous. From the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, please welcome Miss Liz Priestley to the Talk to Q Radio Show. Liz, how's it going?
I'm great. Now I'm the enemy of all your female listeners. That's not good. Yeah. That's not a good way to start.
Yeah. Pretty much. I hate to tell you that, but there are a lot of people right now giving you the side eye, like what makes her so special to be with their man.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know how to answer that. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out, how I got so incredibly blessed to be able to be the one. So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, it has to be the talent. It has to be the talent. Talent wins out, and you have a ton of talent. So tell me, at what age did you start performing? I mean, you pretty much do it all.
I really started out as a musician. I started playing violin at age 4 is when that began for me. I have 5 sisters. So my older siblings played stringed instruments, and they also did theater in, high school. And when I was a young kid, I saw them doing the stuff, and I wanted to do it too. So I started violin because one of them played, and I took an early interest in theater because I remember my oldest sister did plays in high school, and I just thought it was so cool that it was my sister, but then if we went to the theater, she was suddenly some woman from the 1800s and wearing a fancy dress and speaking in an accent, and suddenly she was married. It was so cool to me, and I was like, what do you mean she's a new person? So I was just fascinated by that as a kid, and I was fascinated with movies as a kid, movie making. I remember asking my parents questions like, now, what do you mean? These actors don't really play hockey, or they're not really cops. What does that mean? That was fascinating to me. And yeah, I honestly cannot remember a time where I wasn't performing or just kind of jostling for attention, or just kind of trying to be the center of attention at all times. That's so terrible, but that's the kid I was, I remember when my dad, we got our first video camera for the family, it was a big clunky thing. We brought it home. This was 1993, 94, something like that. And, he's just trying to film everything, and how it's me in every frame, just trying to be in front of that lens, just being the center of the attention. It's embarrassing. I've seen the footage recently. My uncle sent it to me in the last couple of months, and I was just embarrassed as an adult. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been in me forever. It's horrifying.
I'm sure it's fine. And so, if I'm not mistaken, you perform opera, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, opera is a special kind of vocal talent, if you ask me. I mean, most people do pop rock, gospel, or R&B. I mean, why
Yeah.
opera?
Well, it's so in middle school, I had gotten about up to about 6 hours of practicing violin a day, which is a lot, And
Mm.
I knew then I didn't want to go into, I didn't want to play violin professionally. So I said to my parents, look, this is a lot for something I know is just a hobby. So I think I'm done with this, at least as far as taking lessons. I'll keep playing, but and they rightly said to me, look, you have musical ability. You should keep. So try. Oh, okay, we're doing this now. Like, it wasn't like I was like, I want to. And it turned out of everything that for a good long while anyway, I would say opera was the bigger talent, or like here in my hometown. Like, the fact that I'm in a movie is just like people about it. I usually get the response of, oh, that's nice. you know but that's, I like it.
And so now, being an opera singer, doesn't that require you to speak multiple languages?
Hmm. Yeah, you start out learning, typically you start out learning Italian arias. And then if you really want to go further with it, you add in your French, your German. I also learned some arias in Spanish. But yeah, you do. And my teacher was wonderful, the wonderful Valerie Clayton, if you're listening. Yeah, she would be the kind of teacher that, if you were learning something in Italian, you needed to learn the translation. And so if you showed up at a lesson, and this did happen to me once or twice, where you'd walk in the room, she'd open the book, she'd point out a word and say, what's this thing? And if I was like, I don't know, she would close the book and be like, home. And that was the end of the lesson. Like, you were there for 30 seconds. So you had better know all your translations so that you got your money's worth. Yeah, she was serious. But I appreciated that because, later on when I went into musical theater and things like that, learning translations or learning lyrics and things like that, it was like no problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah. She was tough.
All right. So how did you find yourself in the acting world?
Well, like I said, I mean, I knew I wanted to be an actor since I was 7. I mean, really, just the idea of getting to is playing pen for a living. I was like, you can get paid to pretend? Are you kidding me? That's the job for me. Yes. Where do I go? How do I do it? Yes. So I was, from the minute I figured out what acting was, I was like a matter of, oh, I have these other hobbies and I have these other things, and certain I compromised. I was like, I'll go for musical theater. Like, I'm ready to jump in the car and go to LA right now. And they're like, absolutely
Right.
not. So, but I went to, for musical theater, I went to school for that. And I'm glad I did, because I got the full, complete training, and it really did help me. And I figured, at least that way, if I did use music, I could use that to help get my foot in the door for the acting stuff that I wanted to do. It just happened that the real acting stuff that I wanted to do, which was film work, it just took an additional, decade or so to really get to where I wanted to go. But, I worked that whole time. I did theater. I did what I could, and, raised a kid in the meantime, and, it worked out.
Okay. So I know you did the 15-minute movie short, Faithful, which I caught on Amazon
Yeah.
Prime.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yeah.
I thought you were very good, by the way. And
Thank you.
but this is your first major film, right? I mean, so what was your
Yes.
reaction when you found out that you had been casted for Concrete Cowboy?
Well, it's because Faithful it's a student film for a student director at Temple University. So that wasn't
Okay.
even like a released, worldwide or anything. So I really have no film credits, to be honest with you. And so yeah, throughout the audition process, I talked myself out of getting a role. I convinced myself that I figured they were really looking at me seriously. I've done nothing. There's no way that they're gonna hire me, looking at me as a stand-in. So I just convinced myself that, I was like, sure, during the audition, because I was just like, they're not looking at me seriously. And then when they did call me to tell me I got the part, I it didn't register at first. And I literally was
Hmm.
like, oh, thank you so much. And just like hung up the phone. And then like I'm calling my parents who were on a cruise at the time, and I'm trying to call them. And it was like when I was telling my mom, oh, I got the part, that's when it sunk in for me. Like, oh my gosh, I got the part, And my parents even, oh, that's nice. That's
Really?
like it was
That's
like it
nice.
came in waves for us. It was like, and then when they called me up to say, oh, report to horse camp on Monday, and I'm like, wait, I'm sorry? And that's when for my parents, it was like, wait a minute. What do you mean? And I'm like, I got to go to get a costume fitting. And they're like, oh, really? And, and then like my first day when I showed up, and I'm expecting them to take me to some like room or a tent,
Hmm.
something. And they go, oh, come on, we'll take you to your trailer. I was like, like
Oh.
it was like, it was surreal. That was surreal. There's a trailer with my name on the door. Like that was surreal, And meanwhile, it was like my trailer was like the size of my bathroom. And then like when I was walking to the set, I buy like Idris's trailer, which is like the size of a city block. But whatever. I was happy with my bathroom size trailer. I've never had a trailer in my life, it was cool. It was like it came in waves for me that like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like,
Right.
oh, this is happening, and like typically during a movie, Idris and I or Caleb and I, we would have met at some point, to
Yeah.
sure I don't look too short or, whatever. And that never happened. So that also it made it feel more surreal because I just didn't see them until I showed up my first day. And it was like, I'm there and then I turn around and I just hear mom. And then I turn and Caleb McLaughlin's like running at me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, this is it. We're doing it. All right, And then it's like they get us up on a horse because I had to get on a horse with Caleb. So I've known him for all of 30 seconds. And I'm literally just like iron grip around his waist on a horse because I'm like, don't let me fall. Like, please, God. And he's just like, I got you, mom. Don't worry. I got you. You're good. Don't worry. I got you, mom. You're safe up here. It's like he's 17 years old. I'm like, I don't know how well you've paid attention during horse camp. I have no idea. And then they get us up there and then they kind of move the horse a little and I look and like a foot away from me, there's this gorgeous man just smiling at me, giving me a once over. And I'm like,
Hmm.
like that's bizarre. That's bizarre. And I was so overwhelmed that I looked at him and I go, oh, hello, husband. And he's like, he just looks at me, he's like, oh, hello, wife. And I'm just like, it was awesome. It was a great time.
Oh wow. So yeah, so some of the people who are in the movie, you mentioned Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things.
Yes. He's
Um,
awesome. He's phenomenal.
and he plays your son, right?
Yes, he plays my son Cole, who we live in Detroit and I am just, he's acting up real bad. He's kicked out of like his third school or something like that. And I'm like, that's it. That's it. It's time to go to your dad. I've done all I can. I think you need your father's influence. So he thinks he's just coming to Philly to spend the
Right.
summer with Dad. But Dad is a whole different story. So
Okay. So Dad, everybody knows Idris. He's Dad. Um,
that is Dad.
so also in the credits, I saw that Method Man had a role in the movie.
He sure
And
did.
so, what was his role?
Can I just tell you? I Method Man. So, so the story, the surprise is, and this is not giving it away. You'll see it all in the trailer when it comes out and everything. But my son's father is this leader of a group of Black cowboys in Philadelphia. So while he thinks he's just coming to Philly, he's actually coming to this whole different world in Philly that a lot of people know about it. And it's an actually true uh, world. And we shot with real cowboys and boys in our movie.
Mm-hmm.
But Method Man played a cop, and that's say
Wow.
I met Method Man, and I talked to him for 20 minutes, just geeking out, like embarrassingly so, over Idris Elba and how hot I thought he was and how cute he was, and oh my goodness, like all this stuff. And this man just stood there and was like, "Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's awesome. Well, good job. See you tomorrow." And then I
Right.
get to my car and I'm putting on my seatbelt, and I was like, "That was Method Man." And like, I never had a chance to go up to him again and be like, "I'm so sorry. I actually
Oh
do know who
no.
you are. I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry." Like, I didn't even get a chance to correct it.
Oh man. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
terrible. But
so
yes, he's in it. Lorraine Toussaint is in it from Orange is the New Black, if you're familiar with that.
okay.
Jarrell Jerome is in it, who won the Emmy for When They See Us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all incredible. And I got to just be up there for my little 5 minutes and be like,
I mean, it's a lot of star power, and I think it's great. And something they can never take away from you is that you were with two people for sure who are on a lot of women's hall pass lists, and Method Man and Idris, and you
and
got to meet both of them.
apparently Caleb is popular in my daughter's age set, my 13-year-old daughter. The 13-year-olds are all about Mr. Caleb McLaughlin these days. I was like, "Oh, really?" So I've been getting messages left and right from people in her class
Mm.
being like, "Tell us about Caleb." I'm like, I yelled at him a lot.
Oh, so you might need protection from teenagers from yelling at them.
I think I need some protection from just women all around at this point. It's like, once this movie comes
That's
out,
all
I should just go into hiding for a while.
bad. I mean, so what was the day to day like working on the set? I mean, you have all this talent that you're a part of, and so what was your big movie, I guess, break like? I mean, how did you go into it? I mean, every day had to be something different, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. No, it was cool because, well, during the audition process, my character got rewritten during the process, which was really cool for me because initially during the audition, it was written as like she had an issue with drugs. It said she looked like she had lived a hard life.
Hmm.
And I think I rehab and she's gonna be evicted. And it was, before. And they took out some of that controversial stuff and they just made her a nurse. She's just a mom who's at the end of her rope. And I was so happy to dive into that and not have to dive into the other stuff, because it was already overwhelming enough that it's like, hey, you're in your first movie and you're going to share a scene with Idris Elba and you're going to have 5 days with Caleb McLaughlin. Good luck, So it was good to get rid of we're losing the drug addict part and all that. But they were very kind to me in that my first day I had no lines. I just had to sit and react. And thank God for that, because it was the first day I met the two of them. So literally it's just me up on a horse going for like 3 hours. Because I was just like, oh my goodness, this is real. So I think they knew, like, on our first day, let's not give her too much to do. But then, so I had, after I had one day of about 5 hours with Idris to do kind of our big scene. And I don't want to give too much away about that, but it was intense and hilarious, because just off camera are about 75 North Philadelphia natives, mostly women, who are just there to see Idris. And every time I would have to reset to restart the scene, which I did not start near him. I had to walk to him. So when I would have to restart and walk back, and I would be walking by this crowd of people, and you hear all these women being like, and who that is? That don't look like Harry to me. I don't know who that is. Why she get to touch Idris? Why is she in this shot? And I'm just walking like, I am supposed to be here, So it was wild. Wild. It was absolutely wild. And he just it didn't faze him. It didn't, it's crazy. So I had a day with him, and then I had about 5 days with Caleb, and I learned probably the most from Caleb. It was my first time on a film set, and I really watched him to see how he conducted himself. And he's got the energy of, like, I guess like a 17-year-old. I don't know. It's like between takes, he's like breakdancing and playing basketball. And it's like, I don't know where he comes up with the energy, but he's laser focused when it's time to focus. You know what I mean? And and to watch him go toe to toe with it was really interesting too, because they really did bring both of their kind of their own elements. Because Caleb has a Broadway background plus a TV background, and then of course Idris has this huge movie resume. So to watch the two of them really work to complement each other was really, really fun. And like I said, I spent a lot of my time yelling at poor Caleb. I yelled at him a lot. And he really took it. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I had to smack him a couple times. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. He was.
You really got into your role.
They told me I had to. I was like, I don't want to hit this poor boy. And they were like, you've got to. And I was like, they said I had to do it. They said I had to do it. And he was like, it's all right. And then the one take, I smacked him. He wasn't ready. I hit him right in the face. He was not ready. It was my first take. I was like, poof. And he was like blinking, looking around. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We had this car, because I drive from Detroit to Philly. We had this car they gave me. It's a 1993 Toyota Tercel that shut down every time you made a right-hand turn. And they blocked out a route for us that was a 4-block radius that was nothing but right-hand turns. So it's me and Caleb. I'm driving. I turn. The car shuts down. We're coasting. And I've only got, maybe 20 feet before I've got to apply a brake or we're in trouble. And we're both like, we're going to finish the scene, right? We're going to keep going, right? Yeah, you're going to get that break though, right? Like, it was like, he had to really trust me. And of course I have like a box this big to see out of in my windshield. Everything else is blocked by a light and cables and everything. It's just, I thought I was going to kill us all, but I didn't. I made it through and it looks nice. But it was intense. The car was the worst part, I think, for me. The car was the worst. Yeah.
Oh,
it was, yeah, I had to drive it during the day and then I had to drive it at night. And I already struggle to drive at night. So driving that thing, I was like, I'm gonna kill us all, and I'm so sorry, you guys. Like, I have insurance, but not that much. It was like, oh. We got through it. They were very nice, very encouraging to me, so it was very nice. But yeah, it was a lot of pressure, but I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. We had 1 week where they scheduled all of the night shoots in 1 week. And it's just like, at one point it's like 3:00 in the morning, and I just kind of look around at everybody, and I just felt so happy, like just deliriously happy to be there and just be like, oh my gosh, I'm living my dream. It's 3:00 in the morning and I'm on a film set. This is great. I'm like bawling my eyes out, like, this is awesome. Like, it was awesome. It was so fun.
Oh man, that is great. That is great. That's a wonderful experience to have. And now, as far as you having to slap Caleb, I will offer this advice for you. If some 12, 13-year-old Girl Scouts show up at your house to sell you cookies, do not eat them.
Don't do it. I won't do it. I have a niece in New York that I already bought my Girl Scout cookies from, so I'm good. Okay. Don't show up at my house, anybody. Leave me alone. I was only acting. We are friends. We're good. I saw him paddle several months later, and he was dancing. He ripped his shirt open, and I texted him. I was like, "Caleb, put your shirt back on. Like, we're good. We're good now. It's okay. We're okay." I was like, "It's your mother." Well, I was surprised. I was like, "Oh, he's on lip sync battle. This is great." And then he did a spin and was like, psh, ah! I was like,
you did not raise him like that. Uh-oh, did I lose you? Liz, are you there?
Are you serious? I have the worst internet in the world.
It happens.
What?
So, all right, I have you back. I think I have you now.
I'm sitting right across from.
And are you able to hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, cool.
Wow, that's hard. So sorry.
That's fine. All right, so when and where can we see the movie?
Well, the latest I've been told is that Netflix early 2021, and I'm told that means January or February, but I don't have an exact release date as of yet. I will keep you posted though, as soon as I know. But yeah.
All right. Well, I definitely can't wait to see it. And we'll get ready to wrap things up. And let me ask you this. What's next for you? I mean, is it more acting? Is it back to the performing arts? Or are you going to do something completely different? Because, I mean, you might drive race cars or something. You seem like the type of person who can do whatever you set your mind to.
Now I want to do that just for fun. Well, COVID really slowed down a lot of my auditions. So I am still auditioning, seeing, what comes next. Hopefully the movie helps with that, with some opportunities. But I'm also writing a few things right now, and working to get some things pushed out onto the web. So I have a screenplay in development and a web series and a couple things like that in the works.
Oh, that's great.
We'll see. Yeah, but I would love to do another movie. I hope it happens. We'll see, but
Okay. Hey, I'm sure it will come around. And I mean, I look at it like this because I definitely want you to do more major movies and everything so I can brag to everybody that, she was on my show and I've spoken to her. So technically I know her. She's like a cousin now. So, but here's my 2 cents on what you should audition for next. Here's my 2 cents on what you should do next. Anything related to Marvel Comics or Star Wars. Shake that money tree over at Disney. That's where the money is. Hey, maybe Idris can get you on one of those Marvel movies.
It's funny. I did book a part on a Marvel show. I was booked for an episode of Jessica Jones, and then my part was cut for time. But when they called me to tell me that, they were like, "Oh, but Liz, the good news is you can still audition for any other Marvel franchise. And I was like, all right.
See, your foot is in the door. Jessica Jones was a really good show too.
My
I
foot is in the
enjoyed that.
door. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was bummed. I was bummed about that. The first thing I
I can
ever
understand
booked
that.
that wasn't a stage production. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you
So
get your foot in
Marvel,
the
and what
door
was the other
with
one?
Marvel, Star Wars, anything connected to Disney, essentially. Anything connected to Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, even voiceovers at Pixar. Would you do voiceover if you had the chance or animation?
Absolutely. I've done a few voiceover commercials, and voiceovers are really fun. I really enjoy it. So
They
yeah,
look
I would love to
difficult.
do more of those.
So
Sure.
yeah, they look tough. I mean, it seems easy enough to just do, to voice a character, but you're having to essentially mimic the character's mannerisms, and give a certain expression or a certain tone to go with what's going on the screen. And voice acting, I think, will be a lot harder than a lot of people think.
It's because it's not just, oh, let me go in here and make this. It's exactly what you said. You have to take into consideration the mannerisms, the face, how the person, if they have buck teeth, do they have, um, do they have no teeth? Oh my goodness. It all kind of, yeah, like if they have a big full face or if they have a long skinny face, do they have a long skinny body? All of those things, it really does play into how you form a voice. But it's fun. I have a commercial coming out. I have no idea when, but I get to voice. I was a sassy baby. I was a sassy toddler for a stroller commercial. And I was like, this is the funniest, most random thing ever. But like, I had a blast doing that. So, you never know where voiceover will take you. But like, I am not, it's been a long time since
Okay.
I've been a
Well,
toddler, you know what I mean? But that's hilarious to me.
yeah, that's nice. I look forward to seeing something like that. Sassy toddler. And so, how can people learn more about you? Can they connect with you online, social media, anything like that?
Yeah, I just have Facebook. I've been getting a crap about that lately from all these podcasts. Like, how can you only have a Facebook? And I'm like, you're lucky I have that. I've been flirting with the idea of getting rid of that and just being like, I am like the Bill Murray over here. I am impossible to find. No, but no, I have a Facebook under Liz Priestley. And then, of course, you can always find me under imdb.com under Liz Priestley. But that's about it. And if I have anything going on, I will put it in probably both of those places. But like, I'm not going to get an Instagram because I'm fairly boring. I don't have anything interesting to put on there. You would be seeing like pictures of like my feet and being like, Merry Christmas.
I mean, you can be honest. We all know the real reason you don't want to go on Instagram is because you don't want all those women coming after you. I get it. You don't want all the hate.
I mean, that too. Listen. The movie hasn't come out yet. I'm about to lose some Facebook friends. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a little scared.
I will keep you in prayer.
Thank you.
Well, Liz, it's been a pleasure to speak with you, and I'd definitely love to do it again someday. I can't wait to see the movie. It's Concrete Cowboy. And you say it'll be available in early 2021. And so we look forward to it.
Yes.
I wish you the best of luck in the future. And I'm gonna speak it into existence. If the next Avengers movie, you're gonna have a role in it. You're gonna have a role in the next Avengers movie.
It's out there. It's out there.
It's in the universe.
It's out there.
It's in the universe. So
I gotta get in shape. I gotta start working out.
So
it's funny. When Black Panther came out, I had like a week of people being like, you could have been one of the warriors. You know that? Because I'm actually bald under all this. So they were like, you could have been one of those warriors. I was like, not without 6 months in a gym, but sure.
So I mean, I have to admit, everyone in that movie was very fit and in great shape, and yeah, I don't know if I could have gotten. I couldn't have been an extra at all. So,
sure, you could have. You have
mean,
an
maybe on the
elderly chief
American
look
side,
about you.
elderly chief.
Oh, come on. No, you have like a chief look about you. You look like you could be in charge of somewhere. I trust you to be in charge of a faction. Like not the gorilla guys. He's crazy, but one of the normal ones.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Maybe I need to take a few acting classes myself to see if I can get some of this Marvel money. Lord knows they're just printing money. Yeah. I'm gonna work on that. And if that doesn't work, then maybe I can get a role as a remake of the Smurfs. I can be the Black Papa Smurf. That might be the angle right there. If you want to go ahead and start writing that script, I'm good with that. If you want to start writing that script,
it's because you have it's the beer. It works really well. I don't know why that was so funny, but that's hilarious. I'm gonna write it. Black Smurfs.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. It won't be blue, be all black. I do appreciate you. I'm just saying, it's money out here to be made. These movie studios now. I have to admit, coronavirus has really impacted a lot of the money that they normally make. But hopefully, sometime next year we can try to work past that. And if HBO Max doesn't release everything on their station, then maybe the theaters can start booming again.
Well, that's the hope. That's the hope. Wear your masks, people. Yes. We'll be in better shape, I hope.
Yes.
But,
yes. So, but thank you for joining this Q-on-1 edition of the Talk to Q radio show. And I truly appreciate you taking the time. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you for having me. It really was fun. And thank you for putting up with my technical issues. Oy.
So it happens. It happens.